My name is Mufti Menk, and I welcome you to a place where hearts are reminded, faith is renewed, and hope is never lost. Here, we explore the mercy of Allah, the beauty of patience, the power of dua, and the strength of trusting His plan even when the path is unclear. Together, we reflect on the Qur'an, learn from the Sunnah, and seek to live with compassion, humility, and gratitude in every moment. If you wish to strengthen your connection with Allah, find peace in your trials, and draw closer to Him in every heartbeat, you are in the right place. Join me on this journey of reflection and growth. Subscribe now, turn on the notification bell, and let every reminder bring light to your soul. Sincerity is the unseen light that gives life to every deed. It is the quiet whisper of the heart that says, "I do this for Allah alone." When sincerity is present, even the smallest act becomes immense in value. A smile, a kind word, a helping hand, when done for the sake of Allah, are recorded as treasures in the sight of the Almighty. Without sincerity, even the grandest actions become hollow, like a vessel with no soul. The world may applaud, people may admire, but if the intention is for recognition or praise, the reward remains with those fleeting claps, vanishing as quickly as they came. The Prophet Muhammad taught that actions are judged by intentions. This is a truth that should humble us and awaken us. You can stand for hours in prayer, give in charity until your hands are empty, speak eloquently about goodness, yet if your heart seeks validation from people, your reward is with them, not with Allah. And people's praise can neither protect you from hardship nor grant you eternal peace. Only Allah can do that. Living with sincerity means living with the awareness that Allah knows what no one else sees. He knows the thoughts that pass through your mind, the struggles you endure in silence, the sacrifices you make when no one is watching. This awareness transforms every act into worship. When you care for your family, when you work honestly, when you smile at a stranger, when you hold back from hurting someone who has wronged you, all of this, when done for Allah, is worship. It also means resisting the temptation to display your goodness for the sake of approval. The human soul craves acknowledgement. We like to be appreciated, to be told we are kind, generous, or wise. But when the desire for praise takes root, it can poison our sincerity. That is why the righteous before us would hide their good deeds like they hid their sins. They feared showing off in worship, because they knew it could snatch away the sweetness of faith. Think of the quiet giver who places money in the hand of someone in need without telling a soul. Think of the person who wakes in the stillness of the night to pray, when the world sleeps and only Allah sees. These are the deeds that carry weight beyond measure, not because they are grand in the eyes of people, but because they are pure in the sight of Allah. Sincerity is not about doing less, it's about doing everything with the right heart. Even in public acts of worship, sincerity is possible if the heart remains fixed on Allah. The Prophet did not teach us to abandon good works for fear of showing off. He taught us to purify our intentions. If you are giving, give for Him. If you are helping, help for Him. If you are speaking, speak for Him. If the heart remains anchored in the desire to please Allah, sincerity will remain safe. It is also important to remember that sincerity brings peace to the heart. When your aim is to please people, you will always be restless because people's opinions change like the wind. Today they are pleased, tomorrow they may not be. But when your aim is to please Allah, your heart is steady because Allah does not change. His mercy is constant, His reward is certain, and His knowledge of your efforts is complete. Sincerity also strengthens your patience. When you work for the sake of Allah, you can endure hardship with grace because you are not waiting for human thanks. You are content knowing that Allah sees and that nothing done for Him is ever lost. You may plant seeds of goodness today and never see the results in your lifetime, but if your intention was for Him, your reward is already secure. Sometimes sincerity requires letting go of the desire to explain yourself. There will be moments when people misunderstand your actions or doubt your motives. If your heart knows you acted for Allah, there is no need to defend yourself endlessly. Let Allah be your witness. The Prophet faced accusations and insults from those who could not see the truth of his mission, yet he remained steadfast because he knew his sincerity was for Allah alone. Cultivating sincerity is a daily effort. It means pausing before you act and asking, who am I doing this for? If the answer is for the pleasure of Allah, proceed. If it is for praise, recognition, or to impress, then pause and realign your heart. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes, until sincerity becomes the constant state of your soul. And sincerity is not just for acts of worship. It extends to every corner of life. In your work, be sincere in delivering what is right and just. In your relationships, be sincere in your love, care, and support. In your advice, be sincere in guiding toward goodness without pride or judgment. When sincerity fills your life, even your silence can become a form of worship. This is why sincerity is the foundation upon which peace, happiness, and success are built. Without it, these things crumble. With it, even hardship becomes bearable, because your heart is aligned with the one who controls all affairs. And when you live for Allah alone, you will find that you need nothing else to feel complete. Live each moment knowing that the Lord of the worlds sees what's in your heart. Do good not for the fleeting praise of people, but for the everlasting reward of the one who will never let your efforts go to waste. Patience is not simply the act of waiting. It is the strength to endure without losing faith, without losing hope, and without letting your heart turn away from Allah. Every trial you face has been measured, weighed, and permitted by the one who knows you better than you know yourself. Nothing in your life happens by accident. Every hardship carries within it the seed of ease, just as every night is followed by the dawn. But sometimes that dawn comes slowly, and it is in those long moments of waiting that patience is tested the most. When we face difficulties, the heart can feel heavy, the mind clouded, and the soul weary. You might find yourself wondering why certain doors have closed, why certain prayers seem unanswered, or why certain pains continue. But Allah reminds us in the Qur'an that He does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear. If He placed this trial upon you, it is because He knows you can carry it, even if you doubt yourself in this moment. Patience is not a passive state, it is active trust. It is the act of holding your heart steady when everything around you feels unstable. It is refusing to despair when the path ahead is unclear. It is telling yourself that Allah's timing is perfect, even when your heart longs for immediate relief. The Prophet Muhammad endured trials far greater than most of us can imagine: loss of loved ones, rejection by his people, years of hardship. And yet his patience remained unshaken because his trust in Allah was unshaken. There will be times when your patience is tested by the actions of others, when people hurt you, betray you, or speak ill of you. In those moments, patience is not weakness, it is strength. It is the ability to rise above, to respond with dignity, and to trust that Allah sees the truth of every situation. Patience does not mean allowing injustice to continue unchecked. It means taking the right steps without letting anger or bitterness take over your heart. Sometimes patience means waiting for an answer to a prayer. You may have been asking Allah for something for months, years even, and it has not come. It is easy to feel like giving up, but know this: the delay is not a denial. Every prayer is heard, Every tear is seen, every whisper of hope is recorded. Allah may answer in a way you did not expect, or at a time you never imagined. And often, when you finally see the wisdom behind His timing, you will look back and realize that the delay was itself a mercy. Patience is also a shield in moments of loss. When something is taken from you, a loved one, an opportunity, the comfort, it is patience that keeps you from falling into despair. It reminds you that this world is temporary and that nothing you lose here is truly lost if you are patient for the sake of Allah. The Prophet promised that those who endure trials with patience will be rewarded without measure. Imagine that, a reward so vast it is beyond calculation. In the moments when the weight of life feels unbearable, turn your heart to Allah in quiet conversation. Tell Him your fears, your sorrows, your confusion. You do not need to pretend to be strong in front of Him. He already knows the pain you hide and the prayers you whisper when no one else can hear. Sometimes, patience is simply staying connected to Allah in the middle of your storm, trusting that His mercy will carry you to calmer waters. And know that patience is not something you are born with in full. It is something you grow into. Every trial you face is an opportunity to strengthen it. Just as a muscle grows stronger through resistance, the soul grows stronger through hardship. Each time you choose to trust Allah instead of giving in to despair, you are building a heart that can withstand greater storms with greater peace. There will be days when your patience falters, when frustration or sadness takes hold. Do not think that this makes you weak. Even the strongest believers felt moments of deep pain. The difference is that they returned to Allah again and again, asking Him to renew their patience. Make this your habit. When you feel yourself reaching the edge, turn back to Him, and He will hold you steady. Every hardship is temporary, but the lessons it teaches and the reward it brings can be eternal. Patience is not just about enduring until things get better. It is about living with faith and trust while they are still difficult. When you can do that, your heart becomes untouchable by despair, and your life becomes a testament to the beauty of trusting Allah's plan. Hold on, trust Allah's timing. He knows the pain you hide and the prayers you whisper, and He will never let a single moment of your patience go unrewarded. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength so profound that only those with courage and faith can truly embrace it. It takes far more strength to let go than to hold on to resentment. When someone wrongs you, your heart naturally aches for justice, perhaps even for revenge. But revenge, no matter how justified it feels, often leaves the heart empty. Forgiveness, on the other hand, frees you from the chains that bind you to the hurt, allowing you to walk forward in peace. To forgive is not to say that what was done to you was right. It is not to erase the memory of the pain. It is to release your heart from the grip of bitterness so that it can heal. The wound may remain, but forgiveness stops it from poisoning your soul. The Prophet Muhammad endured insults, betrayal, and cruelty from those around him. He was driven out of his home, his companions were harmed, yet when he returned to Makkah in victory, he did not seek vengeance. Instead, he forgave, declaring that those who once sought to destroy him would be safe. Such mercy is not human instinct, it is a heart illuminated by faith in Allah. Forgiveness is not for the benefit of the one who wronged you, it is for your own soul. When you carry resentment, it becomes a burden that weighs you down in every part of your life. It clouds your thoughts, hardens your heart, and robs you of peace. By forgiving, you are not saying, "It didn't matter." You are saying, "It will not control me anymore." You hand the matter over to Allah, knowing that He is the most just of judges and that His judgment is perfect. Sometimes forgiveness feels impossible because the wound is deep and fresh. You may wonder how you can forgive someone who caused you so much pain. In such moments, remember that forgiveness is often a process. It may begin with a conscious decision to let go, even if your emotions do not yet align. Over time, as you seek Allah's help, your heart will soften, and when your heart releases that bitterness, you will feel a peace that revenge could never provide. We must also remember that we too are in constant need of Allah's forgiveness. Every day we make mistakes, every day we fall short, and yet we raise our hands in dua, asking Him to forgive us completely, to erase our sins as though they never existed. How can we expect such mercy for ourselves if we are unwilling to extend even a fraction of it to others? The Qur'an reminds us that those who suppress their anger and pardon people are beloved to Allah. This is not because pardoning is easy, but because it requires a heart that trusts Allah's justice more than its own desire for retribution. Forgiveness also protects relationships. Every human connection, whether with family, friends, or community, will inevitably face moments of hurt. If we cannot forgive, those bonds will break at the first sign of strain. But if we choose to let go and move forward, relationships can grow stronger, deeper, and more resilient. This does not mean tolerating ongoing harm or abuses. Islam teaches us to stand against oppression. But where there is space for reconciliation, forgiveness can rebuild what anger would destroy. One of the greatest acts of forgiveness is forgiving in private, without making an announcement, without seeking to display your mercy to the world. The most beautiful forgiveness is the one given quietly, sincerely, and for Allah alone. No audience, no applause, just a heart that has chosen peace over resentment because it trusts that Allah will take care of the rest. Sometimes the person you need to forgive is yourself. We all have moments we wish we could erase, words we said, choices we made, opportunities we missed. Carrying that weight can crush your spirit if you let it. Forgiving yourself does not mean ignoring your mistakes. It means acknowledging them, learning from them, and moving forward with renewed intention to please Allah. Just as you hope Allah will forgive you, allow yourself to accept that forgiveness and live with hope instead of regret. When you forgive, you open the door for Allah's mercy to flood into your life. The Prophet said that Allah will not show mercy to the one who does not show mercy to others. Imagine standing on the day of judgment in desperate need of Allah's mercy and knowing that you had shown it to others in this life. Imagine the joy of being forgiven by your Creator in ways beyond what you deserve because you forgave in this world. Forgiveness does not mean you must trust again immediately or reconcile fully with the one who wronged you. Sometimes wisdom requires keeping a distance while still letting go of hatred in your heart. Islam allows for boundaries. It does not command us to place ourselves back into harm's way. True forgiveness is an act of the heart, not always a restoration of the same closeness. When you forgive, you break the cycle of hurt. You refuse to let pain dictate your future. You hand your pain to Allah, trusting that He will heal you, restore what you lost, and grant you better than what was taken. This is why forgiveness is a form of strength, because it places ultimate trust in the justice and mercy of Allah, rather than in your own hands. Let go, and Allah will fill your heart with a peace greater than any revenge could ever bring. Gratitude is a light that transforms the way you see the world. It turns what you have into enough, and it turns every moment into an opportunity to remember the one who gave it to you. Every heartbeat you feel is a reminder that your soul is still alive by Allah's permission. Every sunrise is a sign that His mercy has reached you again, giving you another day to worship Him, to seek His forgiveness, and to walk the path toward His pleasure. Gratitude is not just about saying Alhamdulillah. When things go well, it is about recognizing His blessings even in the smallest details, even in moments of difficulty. When you wake up in the morning and breathe in the air, that breath is a gift. Your ability to see, hear, and speak are blessings you cannot count. The food on your table, the water you drink, the roof over your head, these are blessings that millions in the world pray for. Gratitude is about seeing these everyday mercies with fresh eyes and not letting familiarity make you forget their value. The Qur'an reminds us that if we were to count the favors of Allah, we would never be able to number them. This means gratitude is not a checklist. It is a state of the heart. True gratitude is not only expressed in words, but in action. When you are grateful for wealth, you use it to help others. When you are grateful for health, you use your body in acts of worship and kindness. When you are grateful for knowledge, you share it without arrogance. Gratitude is a form of worship because it acknowledges that nothing you have is truly yours. It is entrusted to you by Allah. Gratitude is also a key to receiving more. Allah promises in the Qur'an, "If you are grateful, I will surely increase you." This increase is not always in material wealth. It can be in peace, in love, in contentment, in strength. When you thank Allah for what you have, you open the doors for blessings you never imagined. But when you live in constant complaint, focusing only on what you lack, you close those doors. The heart that is ungrateful sees only what is missing. The heart that is grateful sees only what is present and trusts Allah to provide the rest. Being grateful in times of ease is important, but being grateful in times of hardship is a sign of deep faith. It is easy to say Alhamdulillah when life is going well, but the true test is whether you can say it when things seem to be falling apart. Gratitude in hardship does not mean you enjoy the pain. It means you trust that there is wisdom behind it, and you are thankful for the hidden blessings it contains. Perhaps the trial is protecting you from something worse. Perhaps it is cleansing your sins. Perhaps it is drawing you closer to Allah in ways that comfort never could. Gratitude also shapes your relationships. When you thank people for the good they do, you strengthen the bond between you. The Prophet Muhammad taught us that whoever does not thank people has not thanked Allah. A simple thank you to a parent, a spouse, a friend, or even a stranger can plant seeds of kindness that last a lifetime. Gratitude makes you appreciate the presence of others before life teaches you their absence. It is important to remember that gratitude is a choice. There will always be reasons to complain and reasons to be thankful. Your heart will follow whichever you focus on. If you dwell on what you lack, you will feel empty no matter how much you have. But if you dwell on what you have, you will feel full even in simplicity. Gratitude brings contentment because it teaches you to see your life through the lens of mercy rather than the lens of desire. One way to strengthen gratitude is to reflect on those who have less than you. The Prophet advised us to look at those below us in worldly matters so that we appreciate what we have and do not belittle Allah's blessings. When you see someone struggling for food, you will thank Allah for your meal. When you see someone unable to walk, you will thank Allah for your steps. These comparisons are not meant to make you feel superior, but to make you feel humble and appreciative. Gratitude also draws you closer to Allah. When you constantly remember His blessings, you find yourself speaking to Him more, thanking Him more, and relying on Him more. Your prayers become softer, your heart becomes more peaceful, and your trust in His plan grows stronger. The thankful heart is one that sees Allah's mercy everywhere, in the good, in the bad, and in the in-between. To live with gratitude is to live with lightness. It is to walk through life with an open heart, not weighed down by what you do not have, but uplifted by what you do. It is to see Allah's generosity in every detail, from the warmth of the sun to the coolness of the night. It is to breathe deeply and remember that every breath is a gift you did not earn, yet He gives it to you still. Every heartbeat is a gift. Every sunrise is a sign. Thank Allah for what you have, and He will bless you with what you never imagined. Mercy is the quality that softens hearts, heals wounds, and brings light to even the darkest places. It is not reserved only for those who treat us well, but extends even to those who may never acknowledge it. The Prophet Muhammad was sent as a mercy to the worlds, not just to the believers, not just to his companions, but to all creation. His mercy was seen in the way he spoke, the way he forgave, the way he comforted those in pain, and even in the way he dealt with his enemies. Mercy is not weakness, it is a reflection of a heart that is alive with faith. To be merciful is to recognize that every person you meet carries a story you do not fully know. Behind every smile there may be struggles. Behind every silence there may be pain. A harsh word may break a heart already on the edge, while a gentle word may be the reason someone finds the strength to carry on. Mercy teaches us to speak with kindness, even when correcting, and to help without humiliating. It teaches us to see the humanity in others, even when they fall short. In our dealings with people, it is easy to focus on their faults. It is easy to respond to harshness with harshness, to meet criticism with anger. But mercy calls us to take a different path, the path of patience, understanding, and compassion. This does not mean tolerating injustice or ignoring wrongdoing, but it means addressing these things in a way that preserves dignity and invites goodness rather than fuels resentment. The Prophet corrected people with wisdom, often turning moments of potential conflict into opportunities for growth and learning. Mercy also extends to those who wrong us. It is not natural for the ego to let go. It seeks revenge. It wants to see the other person hurt in return. But mercy rises above the ego. It leaves the matter to Allah, trusting that His justice will prevail. When the Prophet had the power to punish those who had once sought to destroy him, he chose to forgive instead. This act of mercy opened hearts in a way that punishment never could. Many who had once opposed him became some of the strongest supporters of Islam because they experienced his mercy firsthand. Mercy is not only for those close to us, it should extend to strangers, to the poor, to the marginalized, and even to animals. The Prophet taught that a person who gives water to a thirsty dog is rewarded by Allah, and that a person who neglects the needs of an animal is held accountable. Mercy is a way of life. It is the lens through which a believer sees the world. It guides how we treat those in need, how we deal with those who are vulnerable, and how we respond to those who cannot offer us anything in return. A merciful heart is also slow to judge. We may see someone behaving in a way we do not understand, and our first thought may be to criticize. But mercy pauses and asks, what pain are they carrying? What test are they facing? This shift in perspective can turn condemnation into compassion. Sometimes the most merciful act is simply to listen, to give someone the space to share their burden without fear of being judged. In our families, mercy strengthens bonds. A home built on mercy is one where mistakes are met with patience, where disagreements are resolved with respect, and where love is shown in action. In our communities, mercy builds unity. It helps us to overlook differences and to work together for the sake of goodness. And in our hearts, mercy keeps us close to Allah, for He loves those who are merciful. The Prophet said, "The merciful are shown mercy by the most merciful. Be merciful to those on earth, and the one above the heavens will be merciful to you." Mercy is not a one-time act, it is a habit. It is the daily choice to respond with kindness when you could respond with anger, to help when it would be easier to turn away, to forgive when you have every right to hold a grudge. It is a choice that may go unnoticed by the world, but is never unnoticed by Allah. Every time you choose mercy, you plant seeds of goodness that will bear fruit in this life and in the hereafter. To live with mercy is to reflect a small portion of Allah's own attribute of mercy. His mercy encompasses all things. He forgives when we fall. He provides when we forget to ask. He protects us from harms we never even see. When we show mercy to others, we are walking in the light of this divine attribute, and in doing so, we invite Allah's mercy into our own lives. Be gentle with people, for you do not know the battles they fight. The Prophet was a mercy to the worlds. Be a mercy in yours. Sometimes life places you at a crossroad where every direction looks uncertain. You search for clarity, but all you see is mist. You make dua, you look for signs, you seek advice, but the horizon still seems hidden. In those moments, the heart begins to panic, the mind begins to question, and the soul begins to tire. This is where the beauty of trusting Allah becomes your anchor. When you can't see the path ahead, remember that the one who created it sees every detail. He knows where it begins, where it ends, and what lessons await you along the way. He is not just aware of your journey, He is walking with you through it. Every step you take is under His divine care, even when you feel alone. Sometimes the fog is not there to confuse you. It is there to teach you to walk by faith, not by sight. When you surrender your worries to Allah, you are not giving up. You are placing your trust in the one whose knowledge has no limits. You stop obsessing over how things will happen and start believing that they will happen in the way most beneficial for you. You start to understand that delays are not denials, and unanswered prayers are often answered in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Sometimes Allah withholds what you want to give you something far greater than you imagined. Sometimes He redirects you not to punish you, but to protect you from harm you cannot see. When you can't see the road, think about the sea splitting for Musa when there was no escape. Think about Maryam finding sustenance without anyone bringing it to her. Think about the Prophet in the cave during Hira, with enemies steps away, yet protected by a spider's web. These are not just stories. They are reminders that Allah is the master of the unseen. When you trust Him, you walk with the same assurance that they did, knowing that no wall is too high, no ocean too deep, and no darkness too thick for His light to pierce through. Trusting Allah completely also means releasing your need to control outcomes. We often want to write our own timelines, decide our own routes, and determine when relief will arrive. But the believer knows that Allah's plan is perfect in its timing and execution. The night does not hurry the sunrise, yet it always arrives exactly when it is meant to. Your life's sunrise will also come, perhaps not when you expect, but always when you need it most. You may wonder, how can I trust when I've been hurt so many times? How can I surrender when I fear disappointment? The answer lies in shifting your trust from the creation to the Creator. People may let you down, circumstances may fail you, and your own plans may collapse, but Allah never fails. His mercy is constant, His wisdom is flawless, and His care is unconditional. Every hardship you face is measured, every tear you shed is counted, and every dua you make is heard. When you trust Allah, you begin to notice peace entering your life, not because the problems disappear, but because your heart knows the one managing them is far more capable than you. You stop wrestling with fear and start resting in certainty. Even if the road is long, you carry yourself differently because you know who is guiding your steps. You stop asking why me and start saying Alhamdulillah for every chapter, because each one is leading you closer to where you are meant to be. So, when the path ahead is unclear, don't freeze in fear. Move forward with faith. When you can't see the destination, remember that Allah sees it perfectly. And when your heart trembles, remind it, The same Lord who has carried you through every yesterday will not abandon you in your today or your tomorrow. Place your trust in Him completely, and you will find peace in every step. May Allah bless you, guide you, and keep your heart firm upon His path. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.